Hello and welcome to the Story Pilgrim. Season 2, Episode 11, Sondra Harper, Gentle Agency. Now, this is a conversation that I had a while back with Sondra. It is over Zoom, so there is no walking. I was thinking about maybe dropping in some nature sounds underneath, but then that wouldn't be right, would it? So I'm not going to. Anyway, this is going to be a really interesting one. Sondra has a lot of life experience, I would say that. But before we dive in, please make sure that you are following this podcast and sharing it with someone that you do care about. Without further ado, let's dive straight in.
Hi, my name is Sondra Harper, and I'm an author, a teacher, and a coach. Yeah, I've written a book.
What do you coach? What would you say you were coaching?
Well, mostly I coach executives and small business owners and helping them overcome obstacles. And I use breathing as well as coaching to help them get past some of their whatever's going on for them.
Wonderful. Mm-hmm. Excellent. Well, I mean, I've looked at all of your profile, your website and everything. And as you said, you're an author. You've got a book out there. You've had quite a journey over your career life. You're a mum, you're a wife. You've got all of that stuff going on. Very busy lady. But over your 18 years of practice and study, can you narrate like a particular experience during that time that's like deeply impacted your teaching approach or your personal philosophy?
Oh, so like my pilgrimages, how it's impacted me?
Yeah.
Well, first of all, I just want to say to you, I absolutely love your podcast.
Oh, thank you.
It's so lovely. I feel like I'm really there with you in the place. So I just wanted to give you a shout out that it's a beautiful podcast.
Oh,
so I'm really grateful that you're having me on today. Let's talk about pilgrimage. I've been to India 7 times with my Sangha and a body of students to study and practice, and I've been to many of their cities, and I love the country in that it's so spiritually based, and there's like no place on earth like India. No place. Have you been to India?
Yes. Yeah, I was there recently in Hyderabad. And then before that to Mumbai. So I've only been to the cities. I've not done any of the more off the road type of things, places. But it is, you're absolutely right. Why do you think that is? Why do you think India has that special blend of spirituality and just basically human kindness?
Human kindness and just the sense of like how sacred nature is. That's what I feel about how they because every tree has a shrine. I know you've probably been in the water is worshipped, and then they have sacred structures, and then they have temples, and I feel like it just makes it so vibrant because people are honoring the place through their practice.
Yeah. And I mean, of course, you live in another stunning part of the world, in Boulder, Colorado. Is that where you're from originally?
I'm from Idaho originally, which is in the Rockies as well.
Yeah. Yeah. How did you end up in Colorado?
We just, we moved here 12 years ago we love the place. We love the mountains and the skiing and, have you been? Have you been to Boulder?
Not to Boulder, only to Denver. And then I did a couple of summer seasons right on the border with New Mexico, down in Raton and Trinidad area. So sort of the other end of the Rockies. Do you, I mean, living in a place like that, how do you continue to respect it and to make the most of it?
Well, for me, I love it, and I guess the way I respect it is I suppose I'm pretty careful about what I choose to participate in, as far as like, watching where sustainability is, like as far as how I shop or what I buy, and being conscious of all of those things so that it does respect it. And I also live in a place where our power is fairly inexpensive. That just makes it easier.
Yeah.
How else do I respect it? Well, I have actually in my backyard, you can't see it here. I have a fire pit in which I do sacred fire offerings. And that's one way that we practice to honor nature.
Can you relate an experience of one of those that specifically that you can remember of a fire offering?
Yeah, I mean, my teacher is Pandit Rajmani Tiganayat, and he is one of the founders of the Himalayan Institute. He's the spiritual head, and sacred tantric fire offering is part of how we honor nature. So we've done it in India, and then I'm initiated and trained as well to participate and lead sacred fire offering.
Fantastic.
Which honors nature through mantra and beautiful offering of food. So
yeah, that says a lot to me. That says a lot about you. I lived in Chicago for 8 years prior to the pandemic, and so I've been very, very blessed to have the opportunity of, obviously I'm English, I live in England now, and have that whole thing that comes along with that, but then also having the American experience and all that comes along with that. And for me, America it's a great land of opportunity. There's a lot of freedom there, but there's also a lot of consumerism. And you mentioned the sustainability, and so how do you govern, or how do you get through all of that? Being an American, living in this country which is regarded as one of the superpowers of the world, but stay grounded as you have done. How did that journey begin for you to sort of pull yourself away from that?
Yeah, a long time ago, one of my first teachers, his name was Lu Ming, and Lu Ming was a Taoist priest. And he said to us, you have one of the greatest powers that you have as an individual is your power of choice. Mm-hmm. And that power of choice can be what you eat, who you interact with, what you consume. And it does make an impact. And I think people oftentimes, one way I stay grounded is I realize I may be one person in an ocean of people, but just one person can make a difference.
Sure. Yeah.
And those choices make a difference. Like maybe I don't buy the things with all the plastic, or maybe I choose not to, maybe I choose to travel with other people when I go down to Denver. Or maybe it's like the little things, but they make a difference. And choice, personal choice, and personal responsibility really can impact the environment in a positive way.
Sure. Yeah. And we've mentioned that you're a wife and you're a mum. How does your husband buy into all of that?
How does my husband? Well, you know what? He honors nature in his own way. He's also Kung Fu black belt master, many 20-year practice. So in his community, they honor nature. And then he just isn't a big consumer like that. That's just not how he functions in the world. He's just like, we have what we need, and more than enough to share, know?
Yeah, exactly. And how old are your children?
My son is 23.
Okay. Wow, I was not expecting that.
My daughter's 20.
Okay. And so how is they're obviously, they're just beginning their adult life, getting out there at could be college, university, working. Has your life and your influences rubbed off on them?
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah.
Of course I feel totally that children come with full personalities.
Yeah.
They come with their own agendas, and I've been incredibly blessed to have two incredible humans that I had the honor of being their mom. Mm-hmm. But yeah, my son is studying to be a commercial pilot.
Okay,
Yep.
great.
Yep. So it's pretty neat. My daughter's down in Grand Junction, Colorado, studying. So
What's she studying?
communications.
Okay, okay.
Hmm.
Which is
Hmm.
pretty much what you're doing, isn't it? On a very, very higher level or whatever, or non-technical
Yeah.
level, so
Yeah.
to speak. Yeah, that's amazing. And we mentioned before about you being an author. You've got the four attitudes. Do you want to talk about those? But more specifically, also, I mean, I'm jumping around all over the place here. You've had quite a lot of significant challenges in your life. From my understanding, we're talking about cancer, self doubt, anxiety, all of those things. How have you overcoming those challenges have influenced the four attitudes?
Well, I've learned how to access the attitudes as a daily practice, and those actually help me, overcome anxiety and fear or any kind of self doubt just by practicing gratitude. And gratitude for my life and gratitude for what I've been given. Like that just helps overcome all of those things. And
Sure.
that's why I wrote the four attitudes is to help people out there who maybe are struggling with some of those issues.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And that's a habit you would say that you've gotten into that it's just part of your life now.
it's just a habit, and I always ask myself the question if I find that I'm not feeling vibrant and happy, which isn't very often. I'm like, okay, what's going on inside?
Mm-hmm.
Have I overcommitted to things? Did I, it just, and also give myself grace. A lot of people think grace comes from an outside source, and it does.
Yeah.
But grace to yourself is the first part.
Yeah. 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 Sure. Is
So,
that the one I'm a person that struggles with regards to what I would say like motivation on being able
mm,
to to just I have the desire, but then how would you say to somebody that like myself that has the desire to want to attain all of these things, but the motivation is kind of lacking? How can I turn the desire into the motivation to then make these things become a habit?
mm, well, I would probably ask you, what are these things? Like, what is it you would want that
Mm-hmm.
you're not getting?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, because that's a pretty big generalized chunk of like information. So I would ask you what you're not getting and why aren't what's happening.
Yeah.
That would be first thing,
Sure.
and get to know where you were at and what you wanted before, and then um, and ask you what was important to you about that.
Sure.
Like what's important to you about having motivation, and you would say, I have no idea what you would say.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so
Yeah. Okay. Great. Yeah, it is. It's one of those things that I've, like, for instance, for me, my health is something that obviously we all should look after. But I've had a point where I literally would drive myself to the gym, and I would sit in my car, and I would that the level of anxiety would be so high that I just can't get out of the car and go into the gym. It's taking that step. I've taken myself to the gym, but actually getting inside it is a completely different thing, and it just blocks, just will not let me. I just can't get in there. It's really weird.
yeah, so something's going on inside that's stopping you.
Yeah.
And I do feel that, sometimes those things are protection mechanisms and they're kind of out of our awareness and we're not aware of what that might be.
Mm-hmm.
That's why coaching and all of those things, they help understand where the blocks that we're not aware of, they can become more in our awareness, which then we have control of being able to shift and manage them. And,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
so my guess is you probably have something going, listening to you, maybe there's something deeper happening when you go to the gym. There's some kind of internal dialogue or something has happened in the past that's now overlapped in the future. Sure. I have no idea.
Yeah, no, exactly. We're not going to turn this into a therapy session for me. Because, I mean, on that side of things, I'm also dyslexic. So one of my things is that I really struggle to read, to actually pick up a book and actually read these things. So would you say, I mean, I'm probably answering my own question here, but would you say, like, it's better to talk these things out in a way than just sit and read a book? Or is that a very personal thing? Or in your own experience, what's been the best way for you to learn more about yourself and personal growth?
Well, if reading isn't your jam, you can listen to things. You could listen to books. You could also, talking things out is a way. And I get a lot of coaching. So I always, you know what I mean? I have people who are my coaches. I have mentors. I engage. Everything I teach, I do myself. I don't ever ask my students or anyone I work with to do things I myself am not doing.
Sure. Yeah.
So I seek a community that I'm in a community too that helps people move through obstacles.
Yeah. And I am very much I'm very much on your side of things. When I did the Camino to Santiago in 2017, I saw that first of all as a physical challenge, and it very quickly turned into a spiritual and emotional one. But also in my life, I also like to mix things up, and I like to play devil's advocate quite a lot. So if I put this one to you, and this is the devil's advocate, this isn't me asking this question, to some of the skeptics out there, they would say that this whole industry, self-help industry, just sort of preys on the vulnerable. And how would you respond to critics about how they view your teachings, and that it's just basically a form of spiritual consumerism?
Oh, I would say, first of all, who is they?
Mm-hmm.
Give me specifics. And secondly, spiritual consumerism. I could see how somebody might have that. And if that's the case, good. Have it. I don't, I'm not here to prove anything. I want to be in community with like-minded people who are interested in going, having spiritual experiences such as Vishoka meditation.
Sure.
And I welcome, come on, skeptics, whatever.
Yeah.
Skepticism has that whole body of protection, and I'm all about, okay, you can have it.
Sure.
I don't have to change you.
Yeah.
If it's not right for you, I'm okay with that.
Sure. Yeah. No, that's it.
And spiritual materialism, I think, can be, that's just for me, that's what the mind does with it. The untrained mind does with the unhelpful aspects of, that's how it kicks up doubt and fear and all of those things, I might not be doing this right. Mm-hmm. It's okay.
I love that. Yeah.
I'm you're welcome.
Yeah. No, I love that attitude, because I mean, it sort of stems back when we were talking about challenges, and I'm a firm believer that challenges and what's the word? This is when my dyslexia kicks in sometimes. It's right on the tip of my tongue. But these things in our lives are put there to make us stronger. We overcome these things. So then, if it is a skeptic challenging our own beliefs, I think that only makes us stronger in a way of saying, no, that works for you. This works for me. Let me get on with it, basically.
Yeah. It's include all, exclude none. So, and that's what we teach is all of the parts of you that have the skepticism or the doubt or all of that. They're welcome to.
Sure. Yeah.
We're not getting rid of anybody here.
Yeah. Exactly. No, exactly.
That's there for a reason, and you're welcome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we talked about your influences from the the West and the East and the harmonious blend of that. Is there like a particular moment that on like especially these retreats that you have that sort of like exemplifies that blend of the two?
The East and the West. Yeah, I just took a body of students to Mexico, and myself and a partner, and that blend showed up just by being there and teaching them and being in community and just having so much respect for their way of thinking and being. And it was like a collective where everybody had the chance to give their input as we move through not just yoga, but we did all kinds of fun things together. And that met that East and West, because it's like the teachings as well as like my Western self that still, wants to go and be in beautiful locations with wonderful people. So,
yeah. And it is probably going to answer it again. Nature, is that a big part of that?
Yes, it is nature. And that's one of the things is that while we were there, we actually lived through a Category 4 hurricane.
Okay. Yeah, that's pretty
and
big.
Let me tell you, like, if you're teaching present moment awareness, nature does that in such a way so much better than anything anybody can ever do. We're sitting in this shelter in Yalapa, Mexico, and it is a stage 4 right over the top of us. And incredible, those women were incredible. Like, we told stories to each other, and some people, nobody freaked out. Everyone was just like, okay, what happens here happens. And everybody just held and contained each other. And, all of them were like, that was the most amazing experience. So nature teaches in a way that I don't know that humans teach and guides you. So deep respect for our Mother Nature.
It's amazing, isn't it? It really is.
Oh,
yeah. And we're destroying it, but at the same time, it's got control. I kind of look at it like going, and I'm doing my bit for sustainability and the environment as much as I can, as one person. But if we mess it up, nature's just going to wipe us out and start all over again. That's how I don't look at it and going, oh, that's okay, I'll get away with it. I'm like, no, it's going to just wipe us out, and then it will carry on going. It's a huge, to me, it's the best educator in life.
Absolutely. And so loving. So loving, and so like, we did nothing to deserve the gifts of Mother Nature.
No, exactly.
She simply gives and gives and gives and keeps on giving.
Yeah, absolutely.
All of our food, all of our water, all our air, everything. We're completely and totally dependent upon her, and she just gives it with love and,
Completely. Yeah, I'm completely with you on that. And you mentioned it just there, about the present moment, and I love how the present is a gift, and that's it. So one final question, because I won't want to take you on. Is there, like, you've had a very, very rich life, and you've still got a lot of life to live, but is there, yeah, absolutely. No, of course. Is there a particular moment or a particular decision that you have made in the past that you would wish to revisit or approach differently? And if so, what insights have you gained since then from that experience?
So would I make a different decision?
Sure. Yeah.
I don't know. I guess I don't really look at the world like that. I consider my past to be in the past, and yet still a great teacher.
Mm-hmm.
Still, thank you. Regret, no. Change, I did the best I could at the time. I made the best choice the best choice available to myself at the time, and choice is better than no choice, and people always make the best choices available. Sometimes they may not have all of the resources that they need in the moments that are challenging. When I went through breast cancer, I guess looking back on that, maybe I could have said to myself, maybe I should have got a second opinion, but I didn't. I made that choice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And
I'm so grateful I did, because it brings me here now with this rich, I made it through that, and I'm healthy and strong, and,
Yeah.
So regret is not really part of my inner character.
Yeah, I love that. I think that's one that we can all learn from that. That's great. Thank you so much, Sondra. It's been a delight talking to you. How are people going to find out more about you and get this book?
So you can go to my website, the4attitudes.com, and it's there. It's free plus shipping, so you can actually get the book. I think it's $7 on my website.
Huge big thank you there to Sondra. So many things to think about there with regards to how we can make the changes in our lives. And really, deep down, we are the only person that can do that. It's a very simple thing, but it's so important and it's so easily forgotten. So really appreciate Sondra there just pointing us back to that. Really needed that at this time in my life. Once again, thank you for listening. If you have enjoyed, please make sure that you are following and that you are sharing this episode and all the other episodes with someone that you care about. Until the next time, keep listening and buen camino.